Welcome to Wasitora, Jundum Out. Hope you're excited. As far as opening hand goes, yeah, I love it. We're going to keep on this one. We have Phyrexian Arena in the hand. We have Toxic Deluge. We have the mana base established. Well, we need... Oh, yeah, we've got all 5 for Wasitora. Sounds great. Let's go and lead off with... I guess it doesn't really... We'll lead off with Foreboding Ruins, and then we'll go and reveal the swamp off of that. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. We are playing Wasitora. Flying and Trample. Whenever Wasitora deals combat damage to a player, that player sacrifices a creature. If that player can't, you create a 3/3 Jund-colored cat dragon creature token. And I can confirm they are cute. I like them, yeah. I'd have one as a pet. It'd be kind of odd. I mean, I don't know how practical they would be, but it'd be pretty fun. It's going to get down, I guess it technically doesn't matter. We're going to get down Forest. Yeah. Because either way, we'll be able to get down a second black source for Phyrexian Arena next turn, and then we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. We're playing against the Master Polymorphist. Sorry, I tried to throw that last word into the first word. Sacrifice another creature, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-legendary creature card. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And then think Jalira? I think that's how you say it, so we're going to roll with that for the rest of the video. If I'm wrong, it is what it is. It's a happy little mistake. Let's go and get down Urborg. Yeah, that's fine. We'll get down Urborg. Just going to go for Phyrexian Arena. Might be walking into a counter spell, but I don't mind going for this one right now. If we can get that card draw going, it'll definitely be really good for us. All right, get Phyrexian Arena down. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. We did cover both commanders as free time. We can talk about whatever we want. That's going to be Wasitora. Well... mainly maybe like a Vivictus Asmati. So I've been working on Into the Royal. Okay, that's fine. Kind of figured something like that was going to be happening. Either that or a counterspell. But yeah, so I've been working on Vivictus Asmati, and Wasitora is in that deck. And so I was like, well, trying to figure out what I want to record. I was like, let's get a Wasitora video going before we get Vivictus Asmati out there. And yeah, been having a lot of fun with that so far. In fact, I think... If everything goes right, I'm going to be releasing it on MTGO Traders this week, so be on the lookout for that one. But it's a really fun deck, and one of my favorite things about the deck is that you can kind of just build this Jund Good Stuff deck, because this Wasitora deck, it does have a lot of components that really helps Wasitora, but for the most part, it's just kind of like your core Jund deck. Opponent's going to go for Foreboding Ruins. We'll go and grab a let's go and grab a forest off of that, since we do have... Excuse me, we do have Mountain in the hand. That way we do have another red source. We can still get that down and then kind of go from there. But if our opponent's going to be going for that, with the definitely going to be an interesting match. Let's go and get Mountain down, and let's go and go for Phyrexian Arena. That's going to be black, black, and then black. We'll leave up red off that one. Now, they might have another counterspell at 1 mana, but like I said, we're still going to go and get it down anyway. But yeah, it's been a really fun match so far, and one of the fun things about building that deck is you can kind of set up a Jund deck, and where it's almost kind of like this Life from the Loam kind of land graveyard style deck. You know, I had Grizzly Salvage in there, Grim Flayer. There's a lot. We have some good reanimated cards too. There's just a lot of stuff that you can kind of set up these one-sided removal with Vivictus and really kind of have some really good board presence on your side of the board. Opponent's going to go for a Dreamcast. Draw 3 cards, put 2 cards from your hands, both on top of your library or both on bottom. Okay, there we go. Draw 3 cards and put 2 from your hand. Okay, that makes sense. I hadn't seen that card before, so... definitely an interesting card art on that one. It's just, that's what makes Magic so fun, is there's just some times where you run into some cards that... a particular Magic card that you've been playing for a long time, you've never seen that card. So, in fact, I even got in during Mirage, so it makes it even funnier that I've never seen that card. So, opponent's going to go for Personal Tutor, see what they're going to search up off this one, get that reveal zone popped up. And opponent's going to go for Time Twister, so we're definitely going to be able to see that on our next turn. I guess, do we want to just simply tap out for Wasitora? We probably will, because if we want to hold on to Toxic Deluge or go for the throat, we know that Time Twister's coming sometime. And since we will be at that mana, let's go and do this. Let's go and get down, let's get down Taiga, since we do have Urborg out there. Let's go and go for Wasitora. That's going to be black. And if they have some sort of way to bounce it back, so be it. But we're looking at Time Twister coming down to where they're going to we're going to have to shuffle our hands back up. And there's not really anything out there for us to take advantage of with Toxic Deluge or go for the throat. So we're just going to go and pass the turn to our opponent and see if they end up going for that Time Twister. But yeah, as far as kind of like a little impromptu deck tech, some good stuff like Blood Gas, Reassembling Skeleton, that's going to make it to where you're just really going to have these one-sided targets with Vivictus, and it just makes for, if you're a Jund player, maybe you played a lot of Jund in Modern or something like that, you would definitely enjoy Vivictus, and The fun thing about it is you don't necessarily need to have it on the battlefield. Like with Wasitora, you definitely want her on the battlefield in this particular deck to really kind of start putting that pressure on your opponent. It is pretty much the win condition for the deck is getting those cat dragon tokens, making them sacrifice a creature, or simply if they don't have a creature, then we get those cat dragon tokens, so you're kind of getting ahead on resources. With Vivictus, it's pretty much just kind of like a removal card off to the side, you know, just running it as a support commander is perfectly fine too. Alright, so we do draw into Bloodbraid Elf. Let's go ahead and get down Dragon Skull Summit. Yeah, I like that. Dragon Skull Summit. That's going to put us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 total mana. Do we want to go for Bloodbraid Elf? That will have haste. And that'll keep us off something like Putrefy or Toxic Deluge, but we'll still be online for Go for the Throat. Yeah, let's go ahead and go for that. Let's go for Bloodbraid Elf. See if we can't catch off this one. It's always fun to get to cast spells with Cascade. Psychotic Fury, yeah, let's go and give that to Wasitora. That's a really good draw. We'll be able to get Wasitora Double Strike and allow us to get a card draw. Now, they do have some sort of bounce spell. We do have to watch out for that. But with only 3 cards in the hand and one of them being Time Twister, I feel like we'll be able to get in for some pretty good damage on this one. All right, let's go and push in. That's going to be 10 from Wasitora, then 3 from Bloodbraid Elf. Okay, opponent's going to go for, it's going to bounce Wasitora back to the hand. That's fine. It's going to go back. We'll still get in for Bloodbraid Elf, and then knock them down to 26, and then anything else we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. We have to get rid of a card. We'll go, either way, we're looking at Time Twister, so we'll just go ahead and chunk, probably going to get rid of Swamp. There we go. So put us down to 7, and we'll go and pass the turn to our opponent. But yeah, as far as Vivictus, you know, especially with Wasitora, you know, if you want to take advantage of Wasitora, you saw that we had to run something like Psychotic Fury or stuff like Blood Mist to kind of get that double strike going. With Vivictus, I mean, it's pretty much just open. You know, it's just whatever sort of Jund build you in. You know, I've played against a Planeswalker build. That was a lot of fun. And but my build's kind of more of like a Jund All-Star. It's like a Jund cube. We've got like Gitrog Monster in there. We've got Marin in there. Mazarek, I think that's how you say his name. I mean, it's just the who's who of like Jund creatures. It's a lot of fun. Because that's I'll actually explain kind of how that works here in a second. Let's go and get Wasitora pop back up. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can get down Wasitora, but it will not have haste. We're going to do a little bit of setting up this turn. We're looking at like Kodama's Reach, and then something like Blood Mist to give it double strike. They are sitting at 26. We don't have any removal, unfortunately. I think we're getting pretty low on basics, to be honest, off Kodama's Reach. So let's do this. Let's go and get down. Yeah, I think I kind of like getting down Wasitora. That's going to put our opponent on having some sort of answer for Wasitora. Let's go and swing it for 3 first. Let's knock our opponent down to 23. I mean, because either way, even if we need to leave up something for Jalira, our opponent could go for that activation if they have it set up right. Yeah, let's just go and get down. We have no spot removal, so either way, we just need to go and get the down. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, and then next turn we can kind of get down Crucible of Fire, something like Blood Mist to kind of go for that. Anything else? No, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Let's go and get rid of Cliffs because we're not really going to be able to get that down at this point right now. But yeah, so basically with Vivictus is, the way my deck is set up is where it's just such a good value deck. There's so many good cards that interact well with each other, is that even if you can't get Vivictus down, you're just trying to build up this really hard board state to deal with. Stuff like Grave Titan and really kind of take advantage of that. I originally did actually start out with the, Bonus got Corrupted Conscience. Okay, we do have Damnation to take care of that one. At least it doesn't have Double Strike at this point. We will take 5 Infect damage, but we'll see if we can't draw into some sort of enchantment removal off that. But yeah, my Vivictus deck, it did start with, that is just brutal. It did start off with an Aristocrats build, which I'll kind of cover here in a second, but man, the Aristocrats build just didn't really work out that well. Wasn't a huge fan of it. All right, so let's see. Draw into Rakdos Signet and then Damnation. So we're definitely going to go for Damnation. Let's go ahead and take care of that one. That's going to be black, and then 2. Going to take care of that. Let's go ahead and get down Rakdos Signet. We could go forward like something like Dragonlord's Servant. I think that sounds good. Yeah, let's go and get down Dragonlord's Servant. That way it's going to give us a reduced cost. And then we'll go and go for Temple of Abandon to get that scry going. Or if we want to, we can get down Rakdos Signet to get a little bit of extra mana. Let's do that. Let's go to get down Rakdos Signet. It's going to be 1, 2. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. But yeah, so it originally started out as an Aristocrats build. It was okay. You know, I had a lot of Blood Artist stuff in there. I just found that since we didn't really have an Aristocrats commander per se, that it just really didn't kind of translate really well sometimes. So I was going to go for Compulsive Research, but on paper it sounded really good. You know, if you're sacrificing a lot of permanents. So it was just kind of one of those things to where you wanted to have a lot of high impact creatures hit the board, and you know, getting out like Pond of Ulamog or something like that. I don't know, it's just... You didn't really feel that good going for that. And then he also kind of had to put you in a spot to where you needed to run some stuff like Living Death, which I do have Living Death in there, but it was just a little bit clunky. So I'm kind of happy with the build that we settled into. But yeah, so we've got some good stuff in the hand. Let's go and jump back over to Wasitora. One of the fun things that makes Wasitora really good is double strike. So we do have Blood Mist, where hopefully we'll be able to get that down. We do have Sword of Feast and Famine, which actually works out really well with Wasitora, getting that extra combat step, or that dealing that damage to untap all of your lands. Opponent has long-term planning, and then Blightsteel Colossus was revealed. Okay, all right, Phyrexian Arena, let's see what we draw into. Draw into Smoldering Marsh, and then draw into Kessig Wolfrun. Okay, so let's see, how do we want to do this? Wasitora, we can't give it haste at this point right now. Yeah, let's just go and tap out for Wasitora. That's going to be 8 total mana that we're tapping out for. Let's use the Rakdos Signet first. It's going to be black, tap out on Rakdos Signet. Okay, get down Wasitora. Let's go and get that closed out. And then anything else that we need to go for 2, let's go ahead and get down Temple of Abaddon. That way we can kind of set up a scry for next turn. Dragon Tempest. Let's go ahead and put that on the bottom for, well, it's going to give our dragons haste to start swinging at our opponent. I think that it might actually be pretty good in this matchup. Let's go and put that on top. And let's go and swing it for 1 with Dragon Lord Servant with that big old food plate, and then we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. But yeah, so stuff like Sword of Feast and Famine, especially when you give it double strike, gives you some really nice triggers. And you get to run some fun stuff like Crucible of World, and we saw that Dragon Tempest card on top of our library, which is going to give Wasitora haste, which is definitely something you want to give Wasitora. And at the same time, Victus, you definitely want to give him haste, because that definitely makes a huge difference. Alright, so the top card of our opponent's library will be Warping Well. Counter target sorcery spell, or creating an Eldrazi Scion token. So that's not the end of the world that that's on there. But they can use that to get a Scion token on the battlefield for Jalira to kind of go for that transmute. The thing that I'm trying to figure out is why they revealed Blightsteel Colossus. Long-term plan, search your library for a card, shuffle it, put that card 3rd from the top. Okay, let's see what they're going to reveal off of this one. Oh, and excuse me, off of a long-term plans, they do not have to reveal off of that one, so we're not going to see what's going on with that. Opponent's going to get down Cold Steel Heart. Hopefully, fingers crossed, with only 1 card in their hand, we can deploy out Blood Mist and go for something like Crucible of Fire. That's going to make Wasitora and basically 8 toughness. It's going to be 16 commander damage. Then we get down something like Sword of Feast and Fame, and that might be enough to kind of one-shot our opponent. Unfortunately, we have not dealt commander damage this turn yet, but we do have a Jalira on the battlefield, so hopefully we'll be able to get this sacrifice trigger going and really take advantage of that. But we do have Kessig Wolfrun in the hand, so that might actually kind of help us close the game out. Let's see if we get going, though. Drawing a Dragon Tempest and Fleshbag Marauder. Okay, so let's see how we want to set this turn up. Let's go and get down Kessig Wolfrun. Let's go and go for Sword of Feast and Famine. Let's go and tap out on Rakdos Signet. That's going to be 1, 2... Let's get down Sword of Feast and Famine. Let's go and equip Sword of Feast and Famine onto Wasitora, because with our opponent being completely tapped out, we might be able to kind of get some pretty good mana going off this one. Equip that on there, and then if we end up tapping out for Blood Mist... Alright, so Wasitora will have double strike, and in between first strike and then regular combat damage, we should be able to untap our lands and go for a really nice Kessig Wolfrun. So let's go and give Wasitora double strike. Let's go and push in on this one. And what we're going to do is we're going to go and add that mana to our mana pool. We'll wait for them to go for blockers right now, but with them being completely tapped out, we should be able to get this one. Okay, let's go and add that mana to our mana pool. Let's put the triggers on the stack first. Let's go and add 1, and then 1 off Kessig Wolfrun. That's going to untap all of our lands, and what we'll go and do is wait for Jalira to get a sacrifice off this Wasitora trigger, and then we'll go and go for a really big Kessig Wolfrun off this one. That's going to be red and then green. And we'll just go and tap out on this one. Okay, there we go. So we have a 16-6. There we go. We're going to knock our opponent all the way down to -1 and at the same time deal 23 total commander damage. So you can see where our opponent had a ton of bounce spells, bouncing Wasitora back to the hand, but thankfully with stuff like Blood Mist, giving it double strike, and with this Sword of Feast and Famine allowing us to kind of untap all of our lands in between a first strike and regular combat damage step, we're able to end up with a really big Wasitora 16-6, dealing that nice, putting them down to 1. It's always fun to kind of put your opponent down to below lethal life total and deal lethal commander damage in the same swing. So anyways, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.